From mind to metal, it's Randy Grubb's Garage.
The lap panel construction has been a lot of fun to develop with my friend Don Tippett, and where will it ultimately end up? Well, it's hard to say. We're designing a car right now that'll actually have this same lap panel and riveted construction technique. It should be very interesting. I don't know any vehicles that are built this way. So it's an exciting turn, and the DecoPods have led me to this point along the path, and I think it's pretty fun. So I think a car.
The sensuous flowing French curves of the 30s Bugattis and Delahayes gave Randy the feel for his B702. An inspiration for the new car is the 37 Delahaye, which he and his lineman Don Tippett got to see at the Mullen Automotive Museum. Shown here are the concept sketches of the new car with its lap panels, and then with rivets. Under the hood will be a powerful V12 engine.
So there's a lot of ways to build frames, obviously. The B702 had a beautiful mitered frame built from 2x4 box tubing. And doing nice miters and doing the kicks out of miters is a very acceptable way to do it. I've been thinking about this computer programming thing lately, and I've been over to my water jet guy looking around, and I had an idea. Why not do a fully profiled, fully sculpted frame using the computer to model it and then use the water jet to cut it? And look at what we did. All right, it's February 14th, 2015, and it's a great day. Why? Because we're cutting the frame for the new car as we speak. That's right, we've already done our homework. We've developed it on the computer. We've gone to 3D modeling. The next step was full-scale proof of concept. It's a great day because we're able to fully sculpt our frame. We're able to go in and out and make it go thicker and make it go thinner. All right, this frame for this new car is going to be awesome. Now I've really got to get to work. A lot of welding, a lot of bending. It's going to be great though, I hope. We cut each of the 4 surfaces for the box out of flat sheet. Then with using these tabs, it's super cool because the whole thing goes together kind of like a jigsaw. These tabs interlock with the other tabs. And here we are, we just finished doing the section in full steel. And you can see how cool it is because it gets thicker and it gets thinner and it whoops this way and it bends that way and it does all these great things. So the design of a frame is really unlimited. It's been designed in a computer, but how did you know what to design? Well, it's based on a few things. Tire diameter gives you your axle center. I knew that the rear end from Kugel, the cross member here, was 5 inches above the axle center. I was able to map out exactly how much kick I needed. I knew that I wanted my frame about 6 inches off the ground, and I wanted the really low ride height the entire way. As you put the rails together, it's easy for the rail to not be square. It can actually be a trapezoid shape. So by squeezing the long side of the trapezoid and squeezing that down until you end up with a square, it's a manual squeezing operation that squares this whole thing up, and we end up with hopefully some symmetry here. The only way to check them is to pair them up side by side. A scale drawing is a really powerful thing. I just use a pencil, and then from those scale drawings I can determine the height and width of each of my stations. So that's what you see here on the ground. I can get an XY coordinate, a height and a width from my scale drawings, and then average out all these different points and smooth out the line to the final shape. Cool to be able to see the whole thing now, huh? Yeah.
So that's kind of why I was. Yeah, exactly. So,
not to worry anymore. You know, that's all the way up to a real fine point up in the front, just to get its weight back there. But so that wouldn't be bad.
you can have this line really quick by having the rivets be dead in line and a lap line just dead and what's on. With this really cool swoop, you know what I mean?
It's really important that we get a good, you know, a good dive in, you know.
Okay, we've really got the buck nailed down now. It's screwed down to the chassis so that it can't move. I've welded some little tabs, and I've got all this bracing going everywhere so that nothing moves at all, even when I take out my door buck. Okay, since you last saw the full buck, we've now stripped it down to just what I call the body tub. The body tub goes from the firewall to the back of the seating compartment. And it's got to be super, super strong because the doors hang on it, the floor hangs on it, everything hangs on it. So the buck has really been a lot of work to develop this very elaborate buck. You can see how elaborate the door buck is. It comes out, so I'll be building the door using the door buck. And the door jamb actually comes out of this buck. I want to build the whole thing out of 1/8 inch aluminum. So I made very accurate patterns and templates using the buck in the assembled form. Made real accurate templates, cut all my aluminum, fit it all as tight as I could, and then that's right, I welded the whole thing together out of 1/8 inch. So here it is, the whole panel now, this whole quarter section of the body tub has been welded together out of 1/8 inch of aluminum. I got a lot more welding to do, so I got to get busy. Okay, so as I weld up these door frames, the name of the game is let's not distort them now. I've got so much time into the fitting and the bending and the making of these parts. The last thing we want to do is warp it like a pretzel now. So little short welds, lots of time to let it cool. Don't weld on a hot part. I got the other rail pretty well tacked up. And as I was showing you before, this rail's a pretty complicated bit of metal. By the time you get it all welded together, it's going to be a bit of work. But at this point, this is how we actually mocked it up. And inside the metal right now, believe it or not, is the buck. It's trapped inside this metal right now. So now the name of the game is to unclamp it and see if we can't pull the buck out of the inside, and then we'll have to finish doing all the welding to realize the piece. Now at this point there's only one screw indexing it into the original buck. So we're just going to take that screw out, take off all the clamps to see if we can't get the inside wood out of this thing. Here it comes. Phew! We wrapped it in tin foil so that we wouldn't burn the edges of our wood. So now we got a lot of welding to do. Oh, this is great, you guys. Check it out. All the little tabs are lining up. This is the best, coolest way to build a frame ever. This is the X-member, the final bit of the frame for the Falconer Dodici project. The next thing we get to do is mount that awesome V12 that we've been waiting for patiently for months and months and months. So we get to mount the motor, then we get to mount the body tub and make a rolling chassis. Woohoo! Gonna be cool. We ordered this motor in November of 2014, and we've been waiting very patiently. So this is the final screw to take the lid off, to take a look the very first time. All right, Don, why don't you grab that lid? What do we got here? Ooh.
You want to try to get it up?
Well, those fuel rails just look beautiful, don't they?
Wow. Okay, the 1937 Delahaye that inspired this car had an awesome V12. In fact, it was a state-of-the-art V12 for its day. That's why this motor had to be in the car. It couldn't just be a small block Chevy, guys. Here it is, you guys, the Ryan Falconer V12. Is this thing awesome or what? 12 stack injected, 645 horsepower. Awesome, and I get to build a car around it. Woo, am I a lucky guy. Wow!
From mind to metal, it's Randy Grubb's Garage.